What is up? So, if you, in case you guys are new to the game here, there is a Balls Battle, Golf Clash Tommy. This is kind of like a merge event. The Ultimate Golf community and Golf Clash community colliding here. What we're going to do is we're going to work through some of that content with the rookie division. Here you can kind of see the bag that I have set up. You know, very modest early on bag, something that you guys can work towards promoting towards Rookie 2, Rookie 3, that type of content. One of the things that I wanted to just briefly kind of touch on, once you have kind of Tours 1, Tours 2, Tour 3, Tours 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, especially 7, once you have 7 unlocked, you'll start to see the Tour 7s pop up in free bags. Big shots. For if you guys haven't seen them, the big shots here. This is kind of one shot that you take per day. Definitely available to progress and get clubs really fast in the early stages by doing the big shot. In case this is your first time here, just wanted to kind of just briefly, just kind of go over a little bit of this information just so the players have it and know that, that's kind of the best way to progress with your accounts. These games, the developers here, they have created kind of the best free system out of any of the games that I've ever, experienced in the golf world here. So if you log in every 4 hours, hit this free button, you're going to progress your accounts, especially once you have Tour 7 unlocked. So do keep that in mind. The other thing that I wanted to kind of point you guys to, Android store and iOS users, Guide for Ultimate Golf. This is free to download. It's free for anybody to use. It is a open source, and we are going to be using it for ring adjustment to kind of keep our bearings. Also, you'll see that this little basic crosshair that I have, it's going to kind of keep guys with the alignment so they can utilize, good practices of ring adjustments. Android specific devices, they will be able to use an overlay. iPad devices, you can use that slide over feature on the right-hand side of your dock that you can dock and then slide over. One of the things I wanted to point guys to is this guide section at the top. This is going to be basically just a list of my latest and greatest content. New players, this is a great starting place for you guys to start. Here you can see, it's a good Android tablets and how to get them set up. Here you can see overview and, tips to getting, started in the fast and shooting low. A lot of this content here is going to be dedicated towards getting new players in the door and giving them a foundation. So if you guys have the time, definitely worth checking it out. Like I said, all free content for you guys. You don't have to spend $1. There is this win calculator feature as well. This is what we're going to be showcasing in this stream as soon as we go to the Ultimate Golf app and we go to, let's just get started. Let's just take a look here. I want to just take a look at the reward, see what we're playing for. So 6 balls, 6 Mojaves, 6 rookie. Trophy balls. Some of the best balls in the game are those trophy balls. They're won for free in tournaments. This is a perfect example. Balls Battle Tournament. We're playing against a Golf Clash legend here, Golf Clash Tommy. So if you guys, haven't checked out his stuff, he is one of the, elite guys from the Golf Clash platform. We're doing kind of a crossover event here. So you will see, basically the two communities colliding. If you are a new Golf Clash player and you would like, some guidance and assistance getting set up over here, you can feel free to reach out to me directly or subscribe to my channel. One of the easiest ways to find what it is I do, if I was to go down here into the Ultimate Golf app here, and we were to scroll down to the bottom and go to the help section. So you see the very last thing, help. Here is the Facebook community that we've set up. Here's the YouTube. As soon as you click on this YouTube, you can go directly to my channel. You can see this is me. I create a lot of content for free for users to get better at this great game of Ultimate Golf. So do feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like this video. Without much further ado here, we are going to get underway and started. I am going to just get my subscription set up again. For those, who are wondering, there's kind of two different versions. You can use this app for free. There is also a little bit more premium features with a subscription based, and either is totally fine to use. I do like to utilize the subscription for calculation. It does make a little bit for easier style here. So let me just go in here and we will go hit the restore. The way that mine behaves is a little bit different than the way that yours guys will behave. So, in my tutorials, it's probably not going to behave exactly the way that yours is. I have to play in kind of two areas at once. So I got to be in the free and subscription. It causes the software to be a little clunky at times. But what we're going to do is just kind of focus on going through. Keep in mind, we're playing for 12 balls. We're playing for 6 Mojave, 6 rookie trophies. So why not for this first one? We're going to just go basic ball. You'll see I'm utilizing some nice curl here on this shot. That is kind of the max curl for this early club. That's a Red Barchetta. It's a Tour 7. Like I said, if you want to start seeing clubs like that, very easy to do. Unlock Tour 7, start hitting the free button. You're going to see them real quick. You'll see, any of the clubs in the game available very early to those users. So we did get ourselves a little in between here on this first hole. But let's kind of just work through the setup here. Here you can see is our active bag. We are utilizing the Red Barchetta, the Viking Wood, the Bigfoot short iron, the Spectra, Bigfoot long iron, Spectra short iron, and the Hypnotics wedge is what we're going to go to here. We are going to go down to a plus 0% ball. And we are going to do about 7 rings here. 7 rings for max. Maybe utilize some top spin, something to the effect of this. If I remember, so I did do amateur already. If I remember, this broke slightly to the right. Hopefully I am remembering correctly. I'm going to also turn on this Wind HUD so you guys can see the ring adjustment. That is available for, subscribed users. You have the beautiful display be able to show up on your screen. Makes it just a little bit easier. But let's just go with this, with the basic ball. Always trying for ultimate shot, especially when you're not using power balls. There's going to be no room for error. So if you do hit a great ball, so we gave that a nice run, just a little bit too aggressive with our top spin. Keep in mind the ball guide, A, it stretches out due to a tailwind. B, there was a ton of missing ball guide on a Hypnotics. So this is a perfect example if you wanted to sit here and just kind of go for eagle on that very first hole. It's a strategy that a lot of the top guys use. Definitely something worth doing. Similarly, if you do par this one, feel free to rewind and just go back. Keep in mind, these are fixed wins. Everything that I have, you guys are going to have. So whatever wind you see I have, you have as well. Here you can see the Tommy target score is 19 under. So we're going to shoot for 20, beat that score, and we'll get 6 balls. That are Mojaves and 6 rookie trophies. Keep in mind, like I mentioned, fixed wins. I even believe, potentially that rookie and amateur are the same. Potentially. I'd have to go back and double check. But I even think, basically whatever win you have, what I have is exactly, some iteration or close version of for your own shot. So what that is intended to do is make shot repeating and learning that much easier. So you guys can come, subscribe to my channel, watch me play through. As soon as I play through, you guys can go utilize these shots to kind of use similar strategies and maybe reflect upon and improve upon your results. So here we're not trying to get too carried away. What I was, hoping to do is just kind of keep this from running out too far and running into the rough. As you see, we're able to do so. Keep it into the fringe here. I do remember Tailwind as well in the amateur event. Now, one of the things that we're going to do here, this is the max line. This is the min line. We're going to actually focus on using some iteration of this. So if this is max, we're going to come and we're going to set up maybe 6 rings for max right here. Utilize our full backspin, keeping in mind there's maybe some missing ball guide, and it's going to stretch out due to tailwind effect. So let's just say this was 6 rings for max. We are going to utilize this wind arrow tool, and we're going to do 6 rings for max, and we're going to use very close to this adjustment. So about 7 rings. Keeping in mind, like I mentioned, that this ball guide will stretch out because of the tailwind effect. So 6-8, sorry, is our adjustment. Of course, going for ultimate shot, going to be ideal. Let's just see how this comes in. Like I said, it's going to stretch out. So we really were able to get aggressive there. Unfortunate. Like really, to have that hang on the edge like that, very unfortunate turn of events. But a very good opportunity for you guys. Hopefully you guys have unlocked Spectra. If you guys are trying to get that Spectra, the best way to get it unlocked, Tour 5. If you can either play Tour 5 on repeat until you get it unlocked, or once Tour 5 is unlocked, you can just do every 4 hours a free chest until it unlocks. It's guaranteed that eventually the cards are coming. These guys, they're super fair with the way that they distribute clubs. So hopefully you new players can capitalize on that and start building a bag on a budget. So one of the things that you'll see here, the Bigfoot Club is a little in between. Here you can see, like I mentioned, this version of mine is a little bit, it kicks me out highly regularly because I exist in kind of both spaces. But one of the things that we'll do on shots like this is we might try to extend the range. So a perfect example of what we might try to do here. And, maybe we go and we just upgrade this extraterrestrial, get it to a 4. And let's just select it at a 4. I don't want to get my bag too progressed for you guys, but kind of what we're doing is extending this club range. We can also come over to Bigfoot here. So I haven't updated that. So make sure that you are parallel in your bag here. And we're going to come here. Come right back in. And this is going to give us a nice extraterrestrial. And we're pretty close to max adjustment. So I'm probably just going to utilize max or 1 ring for max. That adjustment here, 10.2. This is the wrong club, isn't it? I think this is the wrong club. So definitely make sure you don't do that. That would be catastrophic. The only reason I looked at it and saw it was weird is it was way too many rings. So definitely be careful with those two. I do not utilize this much. What we're going to do, I'll activate this grid again. Makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. We're at around 4-2 rings for your ring adjustment. Maybe just a little bit heavy. Keep it in mind, there's going to be a lot of forces. Wind, plus kind of target kind of a little bit elevated, plus rollout after the bounce. So we're going to kind of over-adjust intentionally. And even that is just a little bit slight on how much we should have over-adjusted. But it gives you a good reference and kind of a nice land zone target. And we could have just did just a little bit more of an overplay there. One of the other features that you can utilize, let's just say hypothetically we're doing that on a consistent basis. One of the things that we can do is we can kind of increase this value to our liking. Give it a little bit, maybe 4.5 rings there. Let's just say, we do it a lot and we notice that the adjustment's not what we want. We can just kind of calibrate our club to be a little bit more courting. However, I don't use this club much, so I only pull it out for rare instances, and especially at a level 3, it's not a precision level club. So, you know, it's something that I wouldn't necessarily, you know, recommend wasting too much time on trying to get dialed, because chances are there's better clubs for you to be using. So with that in mind, let's get back to it. We will go on to the next hole, 10.7 here. About 5 rings, some top spin. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to move 5 rings over into the center of the fairway, which is the edge of your bullseye. Maybe a little bit early on the timing with all that curl. You know, I think I could be early on the timing, so I'm just trying to avoid getting too far over there. And as you can see, we are able to keep this in the fairway, kind of get it down as far as possible. If you are still on an outlaw driver, you might want to just be a little bit more cautious. Doesn't have nearly the precision, and you don't want to roll into this rough. However, as you develop your clubs, it will make it a little bit easier to do so. Now, one of the things that you'll see here, this is a kind of a perfect example to talk about it. This short iron line is right in the middle of our shot. So one of the things that highly recommended, first we'll go back to the Bigfoot. This is a technique that a lot of the top guys use. So you'll see this is a very important concept to start to work on early on, is we're going to take this Spectra club here, and we are going to change it to Orion. If you notice, the power value on Orion much smaller. So what you see is it opens up the club. And maybe even a better club. I'm not sure what that Orion was at. Was it 121 or no 124? So what you might be able to do as well to open it up even more is you can do it with a short with a basic. So what that does is it sometimes, obviously right now it's capped at min. So regardless, it's capped. What you're seeing is it's the same spot regardless if it's 124 or if it's the 121 value. The clubs are designed to specific parameters. It only lets you go so much down into min. So one of the things that you'll see here is we're using the min value, but we're coming up towards max. And we'll just kind of utilize this and go about 6-7 rings. Keeping in mind the ball guide will collapse down because it is a headwind. So what you're going to see is even if it looks like it might be going through the hole after bounces 2, 3, and 4, what you'll see is after this ring adjustment, it's actually going to check up very nicely because of the wind effect. So wind effect is definitely something you want to start to master and be thinking about on the daily. As you can see, that ball guide, like I mentioned, it's just kind of really checking up very nicely. And that's one of the nice things about the Bigfoot is it really helps you play for precision in this game. It's definitely one of those main clubs that you want to focus on mastering there. So let's just jump back in here. We'll do the restore here. Oh, looks like it kicked me out. Just give me 1 second here. Basically, when you are on the subscription version, when you go into the win calculator, there's going to be an ad. Instead of keeping you guys from watching the ad, what we're going to do is we're just going to reset it up on a secondary device. And we are back in. So you see that I get the calculation back. So let's keep going with things. We are off to a good pace. No balls spent so far. 4 holes in, no mistakes. This is a perfect example, headwind. This is the first time that we're going to start to utilize some of this stuff. So we're going to go Mojave here. Try to get this off as far as possible. What this is going to do, hopefully, is keep us in range. Bring eagle into the equation. Another good ball for situations like this, Pro D1s. Those trophy balls that we're playing for. Also, really great balls to utilize. So, when you play for those balls, when the tournament situation comes on in the important situations, what you'll do is you'll pull out those nice balls and try to get as aggressive as possible. Now, one of the things that you might see here is maybe the ball guide's a little bit short, straight headwind. So one of the best things that I can recommend is maybe going up to this. It has a lot more top spin, El Capitan. It's definitely a good club to be pulling out from time to time. So if we were to come back here, do El Capitan, just to get an idea, what are we talking about? 3 rings here. Let me just turn this back on. So 3 rings with some curl. So we're going to land right around here, utilize our max curl, and try to shoot for ultimate shot here. Keep in mind, one of the things that I love about this game, this Mojave ball, it creates special powers to your ball. So what it will do, so just not quite able to get up there. Let's see if this holds up on the fairway. Still going to be a very great opportunity to hold this out. So very hard. If you do want to get onto that green, you're going to have to go rookie trophy, it looks like. Unless your clubs are that much more advanced than mine, that's going to be your best bet. But what we're going to do here is we're hopefully going to still go for this shot. As you can see, I'm kind of keeping 3 ball guide, maybe just a tad bit short of the hole. Keep in mind that this is so close to the hole, it's probably not going to play. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting the ball guide on the hole. You should not have wind this close. And as I was saying about balls, is you'll find, so just a little bit too hot. So unfortunately, we were not able to capitalize on the eagle. I think that's a chance that we're going to fall to that 19 under number. So that's where you see the Golf Clash Tommy score. And that might be a reason why. A little bit early clubs there. Headwind. Very tough to grab that eagle. So what that means is we're either going to need to get another drop somewhere else and still play the perfect round, or we're going to have to out tiebreaker them. One of the things I was saying about those special balls, though, is the Mojave. Let's say we did hit a great ball. The special ball powers a little bit. It opens up the club range. So if I was to go in here, I think we can click on it down here at the bottom. One of the things that you'll see is it expands the club. You'll see that 3% number. So let's say you do hit a great ball, as long as your timing is within 3 seconds, 3% of the allotted release timing, you will still get the perfect ball. So it is one of those really nice features that allows you to convert great shots into ultimate shots with having no deviation to your shot. It's one of the really nice things about this game. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to just set myself back to defaults here. And we're going to go off the tee. Again, 5 rings about with top spin and everything. Just going to make sure that that adjustment is in the fairway. I'm just going to try to get this off. I think did I reset this one? Or was it? I reset this back to the Viking. I was going to just reset my bag here momentarily. And if you can see in game, all you have to do is click on the club. We go down to Viking, hit select, we go back out. So it's really easy to change in between clubs for tournaments. Now, one of the things that you'll see here, a little bit in between clubs again. So a couple different options. As I develop lightning rod, I like to go lightning rod. However, we're going to go back to this club again. The extraterrestrial here. We'll do something to the effects of this. Even the +7, I'm not worried about. As you can see, we were a little bit light plus wind effect last time. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make an improvement on that last adjustment with this level 4 extraterrestrial. Like I mentioned, we're just going to kind of create a little bit extra room here. Keep it in mind that we want bounce 2 to maybe land on the front of the fairway here. Or front of the green, sorry. Something to the effect of this. 10.9, maybe with overplay, 5 rings. You got to keep in mind, you got to factor in just a little bit, maybe for pulling up to higher ground. Additionally, extra effect. So going just a little bit extra here, not going to be a bad thing. There's going to be a lot of bounce effect. After it lands on the ground, it's going to kind of roll out. And you can see very much shifting over to the left there. So the tighter that you can get those, the better. And here you can see, oh no, I was just a little bit late on that timing. So unforced error again. I should not have rushed that putt. You see I released on the very first pass. We should have just waited one more pass. There was no reason to throw that stroke away. So with that in mind, You know, hopefully you guys don't have that unforced error. Let's see if we can still give this a run. I still think there's room to make up ground. One of the other things that I can mention to you guys, especially if you haven't used balls and you didn't get that par 5 eagle and you want to go back, look back here. So restart free. You could basically restart and play this whole setup again until you get that 5th hole. So one of the things I could do, I could go back, I could reset my ball guide just a little bit shorter on that little eagle pitch that we had until we get that shot to drop. The restart there is going to be free, and we can still play for the same rewards, which is very nice. So let's keep going, see what we can do. I just wanted to kind of create this content. I have no kind of intentions on progressing this account. This is going to be kind of a tournament only for new players, just trying to keep them on base with everything. So with that in mind, we're going to go just a little bit short of 5 rings here. And we're just going to keep on trucking through this guide. You guys, you're going to have the same fixed wins as me, so you can utilize very similar adjustments. If you just go 0.1 ring shorter than what I just did there. I might have been just a little bit heavy, you know, maybe a little bit more towards 4.8 there. So maybe just a little bit lighter, a very small 0.1 ring adjustment less. Nice chance for a hole-in-one there. Of course, this is my first time playing with these clubs on this course. This is only my second playthrough of this course in general. But we're still able to stay fairly aggressive. And like I mentioned, hopefully, let's think about going for, you know, why not go for it here? We have a little bit of a tailwind, so why not try to pull out a ball that gives us a chance? So about 3.5 rings. And then the thing that I do after this adjustment is we'll just pull straight up. What this does is it keeps me on that same plane, so we're landing in the same spot. And then like I mentioned, this has the extended zone, so even if we see great ball here, there's a chance that it converts the ultimate shot. So one of the great things I love about this game is the increased needle stability. So being able to go an extra 3% outside that window and be able to still, you know, utilize that only when you use special balls. They all have different statistics. This is just the one example of Mojave. Now let's talk about this shot. So one of the things that I've done, and I have set up a couple tutorials about this, if you want to backtrack and kind of go through some of my content, you know, there's definitely resources out there available. But one of the things that you'll see here is I have a hip 5 scaled. What is this? This is the span, the full span of the hip 5 club. Of course, we're using a +7 ball. So basically what that means is when I pull this up, if I go to full max, you're going to see this is the span. Now, it's not for all balls. You can see it's a little bit stretched out for a +7. I have this set up for basic ball. However, it's going to get the gist of what we want. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to split the difference both ways, and we're going to pull back down. This looks like right around the 60% number. So we're going to use 60% on the slider. It just makes these ring calculations very simple for you guys. Something that you can dial up very quick. And you can see 60% adjustment for this game. It does not mean 60% of 6 rings. The wind, it's kind of intensified towards max. So 60% club, it's still under half adjustment. So if you were doing this mathematically in your head, instead of you using like 50% of the ring adjustment, you can see it's substantially smaller. It's a little bit closer to maybe 45% in this instance. That's more or less what we're going to do for adjustment. So maybe 2.75, keeping the ball guide a little bit short. We don't want this to run out too hard with the tailwind. So let's see how this comes in. Just a hair light. So you can see some of that bounce effect happening. So maybe the way that I landed was a little bit more spot. You know, maybe potentially it was a couple percent beyond 60 as well. So what you'll see is an extra 3%. It leads to 0.3 adjustment. So it's one of those things that you do want to kind of try to fine tune. but it gives you a nice starter and be able to really hone in on some of those adjustment values. Now, let's finish this up. This is hole 9 here. We will go back and we will just keep this in play, not trying to do too much here. So if I remember on my amateur, I gave this a pretty good run, and I really wish that I remember what the ball did, because I think this is definitely a good opportunity. I think it rolled out to the right. Can we maybe go back to Bigfoot here? So anytime that you can kind of stay in Bigfoot, it's kind of the accepted club for this game. So anytime that you can utilize it, you may want to. Of course, here's an example where it's down towards min club. Again, very similar to the last adjustment. Stay fairly aggressive with this ball guide. Let's go back in here, 10.1. This direction, down towards min club. We're going to get 6.6 for the ring adjustment. Keep it in mind, like I mentioned, on the other hole, this ball guide is going to collapse down, so you want to try to factor in that some to potentially give yourself the best optimal chance to be able to grab this. The more that you want to fine-tune your game, the better player that you will ultimately become. Here you can see we do grab the ultimate shot, so we're at least giving it a chance. So just should have been more aggressive with the ball guide. With these early clubs, sometimes I'm a little careful because I know they're missing a lot of guide, but in this example, especially with that hill, you can see coming up just a little bit short. Keep your ball guide a little bit tighter to the hole if you can on that one. Very good opportunity for you guys to be able to grab that eagle and definitely hone in on that adjustment. And in the case that you need to, come back and get another stroke, as you can see, I made that unforced error on the putting green, just rushing that putt. Other than that, we played a very clean round. Like I mentioned, you will be able to go over and restart as many times as you want. So if you do want to strive for those, knocking off that score, very easy to do, utilizing some of those balls and utilizing your replays. I'm going to split this up into 2-part. Best of luck out there, guys. If you guys haven't, been over here long and you want to keep developing your game, one of the easiest places to find me would be going back here, going to the help button, going to the YouTube link. After you get to here, you'll see a subscribe link to my channel. I'm kind of dedicated to the game of helping young players establish their ground, and we're definitely making a push right now to embrace new potential players on this platform. So in the event that you're looking for some guidance, thinking about, playing, we're definitely looking forward to having some new players over here and getting the competition that much more well-rounded and growing this game. So if you guys are interested, feel free to subscribe there, and I'll do the best that I can to keep uploading content for you guys, especially on these fixed events, so that you guys have guides to go off of and make those little adjustments to improve along the way. Best of luck out there. Take care. See you guys on the next part 2.